Hello everyone, and here we are with the final vocabulary unit for this trimester, Unit 12. Not sure why we dropped out there, but hopefully we have ghastly is something that is horrible. Oops, what's going on here? Time out. Not sure why we dropped out there, but hopefully we have ghastly is something that is horrible. Oops, what's going on here? Time out. Okay, let's see if this works now. Yes, it does. Okay, something that is ghastly. We were talking about the blind Oedipus coming upon the stage. It's a very ghastly sight. To jibe someone is to mock them. Oedipus thinks that Tiresias is jibing him at first. I could use this as a noun too and say that the jibes you uttered to me were cruel. The boys were mean at school. Brinker, for example, in a severed piece, jibes leper from time to time. To move gingerly is either an adjective or an adverb, either one. Most of the time, adverb, telling how somebody was able to move. And that means you're moving very cautiously or very carefully. They had to deliver the news gingerly to Louise Mallard that her husband had died because she suffered from a heart condition. Gingerly. The girth of something is its size. I could also use it for an actual band or belt or strap. The girth. It's used to encircle an animal's body. You could tell by the animal's girth that it's not going to fit through this small opening, for example. To be glib, think about a car salesman sometimes. This is an adjective to describe someone who is very much a smooth talker. be glib is to be fluent, fast talking. If you're holding out a little glimmer of hope, this is a feeble ray of light. Or I can use it as a verb. When something is glimmering, we could say that it is shining faintly. The glimmer of the sun on the water was a beautiful sight. If there is a glut of materials, the market is glutted with excess, that is a verb which means to overstock. To fill to excess. And based off that root word of glut, a glutton as a noun is a person who indulges too much, a person who eats to excess. Sometimes we may feel as if we are gluttons on Thanksgiving. We just keep putting more and more in our systems. Gnarled fingers or gnarled hands are twisted and contorted. To goad someone into action, as the boys do when they're yelling that chant in Lord of the Flies, kill the beast, cut his throat, kill the beast, is to incite, to rouse to action. And then we have the word gorge, which is can be used two ways. Number one, a gorge is a narrow passageway through land. They had to traverse the gorge, a narrow passageway through land. Or I could say something that's clogging or choking a passage, like an ice gorge. And then to gorge as a verb would be to stuff yourself. To stuff oneself, let's say it that way. That might be better. To stuff oneself. Please don't give me all the gory details, Gene says to Leper. He doesn't want to know why he went crazy. All the bloody, all of the grotesque nature of it, grotesqueness. And then finally, just a couple more here. Graft. Think about it. There's actually two ways of thinking about it. One is, the police took the bribe. That was considered graft. That's the acquisition of money. In a dishonorable way. Or I can talk about it or use it in terms of biology. A skin graft, that is the act of joining or uniting. You take some of the skin and you're going to graft it together, which is to implant, the verb form. Living tissue, surgically. Right, he had to have a skin graft on his leg after being in the car accident and having his leg dragged. To grate on someone's nerves is to agitate. We know a cheese grater is when you rub something back and forth, right? So to abrade, to agitate, to reduce to small particles. If you're feeling gratification or you want to gratify your desires, it's the idea of giving pleasure, to give pleasure or satisfaction to something. Returning Briseis to Achilles did not gratify him. He still refrained from joining the forces in the battle. And gravity is seriousness of bearing. I mean, obviously we know gravity has something to do with science too and all that kind of stuff, but in terms of our definition for now is if it is the gravity of a situation, it's the seriousness of that situation. Okay, and that's the last unit for the first trimester.